was really humility. We found this news. It was true, we were tricked into believing that this was the right way to be doing things. And so once we heard the news, we just told the news. We said amongst ourselves into committee that we have to tell it all, tell it fast, and tell it now. And we did. And we went to our donors individually, we went to the public, and we said, look what we have found. And I think that was appreciated, that truth was appreciated. And one thing I'll note, that a lot of organisations feel that fear and it freezes them in some way. But instead it motivated us to really find the truth and work on that very edge of the unknown. So we do pride ourselves on innovation and openness. You know, if we get something wrong, we'll work to get it right. And we learn a lot as we go. Yeah, so our team is very devoted to Nepal, very devoted to the countries that we work in, and keen to get it right. And even if one child can have a better, brighter future and free from that abusive situation, then our work is good. And I, as the CEO that wear the pointy hat, am very, very proud of the work. Very, very much so.
Congratulations.
Yeah, thank you.
So tomorrow you go back. You get back to Australia. You've been here for almost 3 weeks.
Correct.
Between Nepal and India. What was your major accomplishment during this short visit? What you've been involved with?
Sure. I say we arrived on just recently, a few weeks back, and I brought with me some of our board members and some donors who are very connected to our organisation to see the work in action on the ground. And then also to reunify those original children that we had for 8 years in our care. They formed a very strong childhood bond, and we feel it's our duty to bring them together because they grew up as sisters. So, and they relish each other's company, and so we provide them an opportunity to reunite. But some of our core work here this time was to go to Russawa and offer some funding from the Australian public to rebuild a school up there, where one of our young children now is reunified with her family. So that school that's been damaged by the earthquake affects 400 families with children in that district, and it's very good that they can now have a place where the children can go back safely and study, and again address the idea that children should come to the valley for education.
Great. And I mean, you mentioned that Forget Me Not works also in Uganda.
Yes.
So do you see any similarities between such different countries like Nepal and Uganda? Are the issues same? Are the approach different? The way you deal with the problem? How do you see the comparison between the two countries?
Yes. Well, look, our core work remains the same. Our core work does remain the same, but our approach has to be slightly different due to cultural differences, different religion, different political agendas, different desires for family. But one key thing across every country we work in is that parents want the best for their children. No one wants their child to be displaced. No one wants their child to have hardship. And based on this common factor, we work with family. And the family says, I want my child educated. I want them to have a good hope. How can we do that? So we work a little differently, but with the same overarching goal. And one thing we do in each particular country is it's not just the top work that the public sees. We do something underlying. So if, for example, Forget Me Not Australia should cease to exist, we can leave a lasting legacy for children. So in Nepal, we reunite the children, but we also work to get their citizenship documentation and then hopefully once they're educated, a passport, for example, and leave them with documents and a future. In Uganda, we work with children with land rights. So a lot of children are orphaned during the HIV/AIDS epidemic, and their land is usurped by other relatives or whatnot. So we work to keep those children's families, child-headed families intact and get the land right document to them so they have a lasting legacy. In India, we work, a lot of the children are not registered for birth. So what we do is while they're studying in our little education centres, we get their birth certificates, get them up to educational level so that they can then go to public school with their documentation.
Right,
so we leave a lasting legacy for
Great.
them.
I think we have time for the last question.
Sure.
Any future plan to expand to any new countries? What's your strategic vision for Forget Me Not?
So Forget Me Not Australia's strategic vision is to strengthen the programs that we work in the 3 countries where we work. There's so much need in the countries that we work in. We don't have any immediate plans to extend into other countries right now. We do have some umbrella programs within the countries, some other smaller projects that we work with, other organisations that exist that come in under our structure because the light's on. Why not bring more people inside? So one of our key goals is collaboration. We love the conversation. We love the conversation. And one thing we believe in Forget Me Not Australia is that when we hold hands, stronger.
All right. Thank you so much, and enjoy the Christmas and the autumn of Australia.
Thank you.
Thanks so much.